Hello, my flowers, and welcome back to another episode of Maddie Vlogs and Does, you guys. In this episode, I am going to be teaching you guys or showing you guys how to set up spell work. If you see me here, cleansing is imperative for us to do. And also, please note these spell workings are not against anybody. It's for self-help and starting the new year with goals and manifestations that focus on you, regardless of any turmoil or lessons that we might experience next year. So here we go. We're going to start off with my honey jar that I had started venerating about maybe 2.5 weeks ago. It is a honey jar, so it brings honey. In my TikTok, you guys are going to see the items and ingredients that I use for my honey jar. I don't have to do much as far as my like writing down in the jar, because on top of the jar, you guys don't see it, but I see, what the jar is for. Because next year, I don't know, I'm a little eerie. I don't know, you guys. I don't know if it's because of last year or this year. If you're seeing this in 2023. But 2022, I was one of those like warriors, like the creator was like, like, oh yeah, you can take this. Let's go. Boop. Oh yeah, you could take that. Boop. It's one of those situations. Man. And I for the past like maybe 2 years, I've reconnected back with my spirituality, but I had almost a year that I didn't upload. I wasn't answering any questions. I wasn't saying anything to anybody. I had pending orders. I mean, nothing was working. Nothing was working for me because I was surrounded by the wrong people, the wrong environment, and sometimes it takes away from you really, really focusing on you in its entirety. And until you don't get out of that environment or a sticky situation, it becomes like center and focus of your attention. Now, I'm learning boundaries. I am learning to go and take my little happy self to therapy. And like what healthy relationships are there. And I'm not promoting this fake nonsense, you guys, that you guys see on social media all the time. Like, oh, healthy relationships are all about smiles and giggles, shits and giggles. It's not about anything that's shits or giggles, okay? It is a lot of work. It is more than just 50-50, all right? Okay? All right? Listen, it's a lot of work. It is a lot of work. So, what you guys see here is my honey jar so that I can tackle this work for next year and surpass my limitations on what I think goals are. So, while I was talking about shits and giggles, you guys saw me taste my honey. It is suggested that you always taste your honey out of respect for Oshun or any deity that works with honey. Ogun also likes honey and works together with honey as well. It's something that I did not know. I read in like the offerings because I hadn't worked with him. I just started with like the 7 African powers and really, really connecting with them. And as you can see here, I poured honey all over his spell work and his offerings that I previously gave to him. So last week, if you guys have been watching, you guys saw the spell work that I did for Ogun. And I did all of this in the same day, but I like broke the clip down into 3 videos, which is fantastic. So what I did today gave me work for 3 weeks, because as you guys can see in my algorithm for this channel, I am uploading videos every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Every Wednesday, the day of Mercury, the day of communication at 3 p.m. Okay. So I poured honey all over my manifestations over there. You got to do what you got to do. And I have my honey jar ready to go. Like I said in my TikTok, I want to say it's in my TikTok. If it's not in my TikTok, it's okay. We'll have like, I'm not going anywhere. I'll be on here. I'll be talking about witchy things. I'll be talking about all sorts of stuff. on my channel all the time, every day, all day. Okay. I love vlogging. I love talking to you guys. I love discussing things with people on the internet. I love completing orders, even though I'm not the greatest at completing orders on time, because I'm constantly and consistently teaching people. It serves as therapy. I love helping others. And like I said in previous videos, you guys, it is imperative, it is important, it is suggested, whatever you want to say, that the workings that you guys do, you guys use all of the materials. So the paper that is used to wrap your candles and store your candles in, from the botanica, from spiritual locations, from the supermarket, you use it in everything that you do. So I am using shea butter mixed with coconut oil in this spell work, and you should always, or I suggest it, I shouldn't say you should, because I don't want to impose my spirituality onto anyone, but it is suggested, excuse me, that you use oils to dress your candles. Some people use oils and their herbs, and then they take an extra candle and like put wax all over that candle so that it's not as messy. I like messy things. I'm a messy bit that loves the drama. I'm a messy bee that loves the drama. Let's go. And I love the drama in my spell work as well. I go for the kill. Okay, I am telling you, I've manifested so many great and fantastic things in my life. And the only deterrent, and I'm creating this in my mindset, that the only deterrent was myself. Even though I've had obstacles, I've had things, I have places, I've had people come for my health, my spirituality, and everything in between. But here I stand, you guys. Here I stand. And unless I discipline myself and I give myself discipline and give myself props when props are needed, things will not get done. Okay? So what you guys see here is me not only dressing my candles, but with the stick that is left over from the incense sticks, I am writing down what each candle represents to me for the year. So the yellow candle is, of course, to respect and venerate Oshun, because she is who is doing this honey jar for me. She is fabulous doing honey jars, as you may or may not know. And the white candles are representing not only what I wrote on the candles, but they also represent purity. They represent cleansing. They represent also the unknown, because I'm walking into the light. And when you walk into the light, you guys can't see anything else. You can't even see your shadow. So I'm walking into the light. Okay. So if you guys didn't know, I use the powdered incenses that they sell at the botanicas as ways to dress my candles and you know, any little candles, whether it's these little stick candles or whether it's the 7-day candles. That is what I use. So for this spell work, I am using of course Oshun. I'm using the 7-day the 7 African powers as well. And like I told you guys before, I use coconut oil and I use shea butter, and I like to get my hands down and dirty. The powder that you guys see me put on Ogun's spell work is the 7 African powers, okay? Because he is part of the 7 African powers. So when doing spell work, it is suggested that you do not wear gloves. I know a lot of people don't like to get down and dirty. I would not suggest that anybody wears gloves when doing spell work. If you're doing separate spell works, like I've said in my other videos, like I have been doing for an hour. This video is actually an hour, but I cut it and made it into separate videos so that I can give you guys separate information. So what I like to do is, you know, cleanse when I'm working with different entities or different spirits or whatever. And I like to get my hands down and dirty because my intentions are coming from my hands, not just my thoughts, but I'm touching everything. Another suggestion, if you're new to this channel, or if you haven't heard, or if you haven't watched one of my one of my videos in full, is that I like to listen to things that have to do with the spell work that I'm creating. So for example, if I'm doing something that has to do with like self-care, self-love, like right now I'm watching the like partner channels, or like YouTube videos, listening to love songs. If I'm manifesting things that have to do with money, I'm listening to anything that has to do with yes, love, anything that has to do with happy thoughts, higher frequency, etc. So in the background you don't hear it, but I hear it because I edited the video, duh. But that's what I like, because when people speak, it brings out frequency. When people sing, there's a certain frequency. Melodies, tones have their own frequency. And that's what I use to manifest. Yes, I do. So what you're going to see me do here is start off with placing the candles. And I'm sorry for you guys for just looking at my skin, but you're gonna see me placing the candles on top of the honey jar, and that is how you create your honey jar. There's no specific way, but I've seen people do this many times. They do maybe one at a time. I like to do 4 at a time, and that's why I keep the jars. I use everything that I purchased for my spell work. And you burn the bottom of the little candle, and you place it so that it actually sticks and it doesn't fall, and it also prevents fires, etc. I like to use 4 of the stick candles because it represents the 4 elements. It represents the directions in the compass, and it also brings the spell work at a higher rate. So the things are working at a higher speed. So whatever you try to manifest, it's going faster. Some people like to use 2 candles, and they bring the candles closer together. And every time, 1 or 2 candles finishes, the energies mix in together, and so you have a bigger boom when it comes to manifesting, etc. So while the Ogun, you guys hear Victoria, while the Ogun spell work is going now, I have started powering my honey jar, okay? And the rest of the candles, I'm going to place them in a little sandwich bag, and I place them on the altar, so that while I'm putting incense and I am placing other things in the altar, those candles have their own magic. Those candles have their own power as I place them on top of the honey jar. And it's like I tell you guys before, always clean between creating different sections of your altar. It is imperative, it is important that you always clean your area. So now you guys are going to see the spell works continuing to do a wonderful, marvelous job. I'm going to put incense all over the areas of my spell work. The incense that I have used in this spell work is my Oshun, and also the sun incense. For me, when I get sun incense and I don't have like a 7 African power incense, or specifically for a specific deity like Ogun, I have never seen incense specifically dedicated to him. So when I don't have those things on me, the sun always represents like the masculine energy, the things that like everything revolves around the sun. So right now the focus is Ogun. So since everything revolves around the sun, right now everything's revolving around Ogun, because I am doing the spell work. So I gave him the sun incense sticks, and you can find those in Amazon. So I'm cleaning and I'm cleansing my hands because I'm about to give food for the orishas. And then I will also do a spell work for Shango as well. Well, I mean, it's not really spell work. It's actually, it is actually just an offering, because he has been calling out to me. I don't know what he has in store for me, but I do like sense his protection and like his admiration and like his coronation of me, and his respect for me. So again, like I've mentioned before, these little bags, I don't use them for all spell works. I don't write my petitions and stuff on those little bags, but I always keep them around because you just never know. So the plate that you guys see here, I'm going to fill it with yams. I'm going to put the coconut cream in one of the glasses, and also mango and bread and honey and strawberry yam, and that bread is the bread that I give offering for Saint Death, but she already has her bread, so I'm not going to feed her more. But this bread that I'm using here is the bread that I'm going to use for spell work that I have for Santa Marta, and also spell work that I am not spell work, but just offerings that I'm giving the Sovereign African Powers. Sometimes some of my friends are like, Maddie, you're suffocating them with food. Like, you don't always have to give them food. However, I respect them, and I have had so much food and so much like just literally just food for myself, and like plenty of money and plenty of resources that I still, after checks, you guys, like my individual check without counting anybody else's check or anything like that, my individual check, I probably see at the end of the week, if that, like $100 and something. I too go through things. Like, I too have to use Klarna. I have to use Affirm. I have to use let me see, what else do I use? I use my credit cards. I use MoneyLion. I use the little loans that are offered to me. Everyone goes through their struggles. However, if and when we have resources, I always like to give thanks to them, because when these doors are opened for me and these open roads are open for me, that means resources are coming in. Whether those resources are monetary, or in love or in spirituality, but things that I need are always coming to me. And because I am so fruitful, I always want to give them back. Not just by lighting candles to them or lighting incenses to them, but I want to give them the same food that I eat. Like, if I had like a Thanksgiving feast, had I had one, I was stuck at work, I would have given them food. There was almost like no food left over, and the food that was left over was for other people that that are at my job. So I didn't bring them a plate. Otherwise, there would be a separate plate for them, or put there for them to eat with me. So anyway, one day, you guys, I will have a house. I'm going to have a house. As a matter of fact, I'm already signing for the house, is how I like to speak. And I will have my own little closet, hopefully like a little walk-in closet that I can define as my office space. And in my office space, I can do little Zoom meetings, have my therapy sessions, get away from everybody, and do my spell works and organize things for you guys within this walk-in closet. And this walk-in closet will not have my clothes in it or anything else. It'll just be my own little office space, separate from anybody else's space. Is what I'm trying to manifest for myself. So here you guys are going to see me place the food in different sections. This plate, like I was saying before, I bought that plate at like a discount store, like a 99-cent store, and it literally cost like maybe $2.99 or something like that. And it was just absolutely fabulous, because some deities, I don't have to have like 1,000 plates for them, because some deities like to eat more fruits than vegetables, and vice versa. Some of them don't like bread. So in each one of the sections, I know that you guys can see it, I can place certain different things, like different foods. Like I placed the mango. You guys are gonna see me place the yam. I placed the bread. I place certain herbs for them that mean certain things in this one plate, and whoever wants to come in and feast can go right ahead and feast. And eat, their fruits or their vegetables, their candy, etc. When I buy canned food, or if canned food is donated to me or given to me or provided to me, I give it to them. I don't eat like canned food, but I do give it to them. So if anybody wants to donate, or I send it back home to either the Dominican Republic or Haiti. But if you guys have any cans or anything that you guys would like to donate, and you're within the tri-state area and you are not using them and they are not expired, you guys, because that's also very important. I would not want to disrespect them by giving them something that's expired. Please hit me up, comment below, let me know. We can meet up, etc. We could chit chat about stuff, and that'll be their food. Some people that you see getting food in the lines or whatever, don't get it twisted. A lot of us witches go on those lines to get free food because we're trying to manifest something for ourselves, or we give it to the deities or whatever. And I'm not talking about me, because I don't have the time to go on those lines, but I have seen witches that I know they're witches, that I've seen them with their, items and stuff, and I know, who they are, and we feel each other's vibes. Don't think that, oh, we're poor, oh, we're going to shit, oh, if you weren't practicing this and that, this and this wouldn't be happening to you, as if you're so perfect. It's ridiculous, it's ridiculous to think like that. I feel like that's something that's very naive of people, to think that it's okay to say certain things like that to people just because they're practicing their own spirituality. It's absolutely positively not okay to say things like that to people, because everybody goes through their trials and tribulations. You don't know what karma, what contracts, what situations people place themselves in, or the universe tests them with or places them with. And most of the time, like, look at all these rich people, look at all these royal families, still racist as almighty heck can be, and having hatred for people that don't look like them. And they have all this abundance and all this money and all this privilege, locked up in golden cages, but they are not happy. They are not actually, they will never sympathize with anybody. And that's the saddest thing ever. So not everything that shines is gold. And giving the deities and giving the orishas the plates of food that I'm giving them, and respecting them for who they are and the things that they like, reminds me of the things that I have. It reminds me of the things that I don't have, so that I'm able to appreciate the things that I don't have. Because sometimes the things that were blocked from you, or the things that you no longer have, were things that are meant for you not to have, out of pure protection for your own soul, kind of a thing. So that is what I do to venerate and respect them. Now you guys are going to see me dress Chango and prepare Chango's candle, and that is the plate that I'm giving the orishas. You guys are going to see me now cleanse Chango's candles that I bought for him. Is like I tell you guys, he has been calling me for a very long time, but right now he doesn't have any like workings for me to do, or any spell work or anything like that. Right now I'm literally just giving him energy. And sometimes also, another thing that I wanted to say, sometimes the deities that we work with, we make promises to them. Like, for example, I told the 7 African powers, and I also told the 21 divisions, that I will light candles to each and every one of their deities with their 7 La Siete Potencia candle that venerates all of them at the same time. And then I am going to, you see how I have the Ogun candle going, and it's the one in the corner next to me, La Caridad del Cobre. It has his personal candle, and it also has the 7 La Siete Potencia, the 7 African power candle. And that is a way of me acknowledging each individual frequency entity on its own, and building a relationship with them. Because I do feel like somewhere along the line I will someone will have to like break my neck or break my head or whatever, because I sense myself a little bit more ready to be able to go ahead and like maybe perform a baptism ritual. I'm not quite sure when it's going to be or when it's going to take place or how it's going to take place, etc. However, it's, I know that when that time comes, it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be a beautiful time for me, and for them as well, because they're going to be welcoming me and enhancing more of my powers, because I do hear them, I do sense them, I do have a relationship with them, but I feel like it would seal the deal for me to baptize myself with them, and continue to work with them, and never letting each other's hands go, because I have let go many times because I thought they were leading me the wrong way, or I thought that the people that I was with or the things that were around me were being masked with other entities, which we'll get on that topic as well, because sometimes I do get down and out, and I'll expose myself before anybody exposes me. That you just saw me place in that cup is coconut cream. And so I placed it on there, and that's also an offering. For those of you that have issues with like alcohol, or have had issues with alcohol like me, I tend to like not give them too much alcohol. Like I give, Santa Muerte tequila here and there, but I tend not to do that with her, because then they're gonna request that I also engage in some sort of alcoholic or alcohol behavior, or drinking alcohol. And because I'm driving and working a ridiculous amount of hours, I have that relationship with them where they respect, and if there's anything other than alcohol that I can provide to you, I will provide that more, and in a bigger bulk than me giving you alcohol. I also have my poor little Victoria here that likes to eat their candy or play around with their candy. She is absolutely guilty. Yes, she is. So as you guys saw, I'm making space. The Chango candle has like a cinnamon type of fragrance that comes with the candle. So I am cleaning and cleansing the 7 African Day candle. I'm going to clean and cleanse his candle as well. I'm going to tie them together and light them. And as I said in my previous videos, I do not light any candles. I don't do spell work on Sundays. Not even if it's an emergency. I'm not doing any spell work for anybody but myself. I will resume creating and manifesting and doing candles for people, and then like shipping them off, because I was doing that at some point, and then once I sold all the candles that I created, I no longer do that, because I don't have the space, and I have to just like prepare myself for that as well. It's a process, because you constantly have to make sure that the candle is prepared individually for a specific person. Like I used to buy the candles, and some of them were sold where they were already prepared, and there were others where people ordered them, and I had to prepare them for that specific individual. So I prefer to not prepare them for a specific individual and just sell them as my intuition guides me, and whoever that candle is going to be sold to, that's who that candle belongs to, and so as a dressing oil, you guys, I use both olive oil and argan oil, because argan oil makes your connection, it makes things grow. So I figure if I give them argan oil, it's going to make my connection with them much, much stronger than what I thought before, especially because I'm giving him an offering. And when I mean him, I mean Chango. So right now, like I've told you guys before, if you guys have been watching, I dressed their candle with the incense that belongs to them. That's how I work that magic. Yes, I do. This helps you guys. It will not cause a fire. It actually makes the aroma. So it makes the aroma of the candle smell a little bit like the incense. Like you can tell a little bit when you first start burning the candle. It also minimizes the scent of the wax of the 7-day candles. It minimizes that scent tremendously, especially when you're turning off the candle. And I don't know, I just prefer that. Especially, it's also a trick that I have learned that to use when you don't have enough space to buy all these herbs and do all this stuff. Those little packet of incenses last a very long time. And I don't burn them like around the house. Those incenses I don't, because I live in a house. I prefer the stick, and it doesn't turn the system on to say like the house is burning or something. It doesn't do any of that extra stuff. So I placed both candles together because as I've mentioned before, it makes the candle and the spell work and the offering more potent when you put two candles together that go together, you know. Like, I would not put Saint Death together with Chango, because that's going to cross my energy. That's not what I'm looking for. So I turned the candle on. I turned my incenses that are still going. And there goes that spell work. The next spell work that I'm going to do, which you will see first, is going to be that Santa Malta la Dominadora. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment.